Hi, sister. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I am so happy you're here. We are so happy you're here. And you are in for a treat today. Our topic today is it's time to dance. Woo! It's time to dance, girl. And I am joined today by a sister, a friend, not like blood sister, but like a sister, a friend, just a high achieving, amazing woman in the community, Marya Sherron. She is a speaker, an author, a business owner, an advocate. She's been married for 17 years, two boys, and she's just making some amazing things happen in the community. And I'm so excited to have her on. So, Marya, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I'm so excited.
Me too. So it's time to dance. It's time to dance. And this is you. This is your story of what does that mean for you? Where does that come from? What is your story as it pertains to this topic? And the floor is yours. So lead
Wow,
us.
wow. It is time to dance. That title, this is my website, it's everything. It birthed from the title of my first children's book, Time to Dance. And that came from the loss of my brother. He was the first nurse in the country to pass of COVID-19. He worked at a hospital in New York, and they were hit. It was March, early March, and we didn't really know what was happening. Um, but he was amazing. His life, he was a dancer before he was a nurse. In fact, he went to Butler here for his undergrad and for their amazing dance program. But he danced through life. It's time to dance, and that story was reflecting on his life. So this huge, tremendous loss. He was my best friend. Best friend. We were 2.5 years apart. People thought we were twins. He was my brother, and he was gone just so unexpectedly, so horrifically alone. And, during that time period, sitting, because we're all home and thinking and reflecting and praying and, thinking about the lessons that he taught me. And he was the one that ran after his dreams. There were no limits. There was no one was going to tell him that he couldn't do what he knew was his purpose, and he did it. And he always wanted that for me. So
Yeah.
I'm 46 when he passes, and I at that point in life was still not dancing, not living. I was doing what was safe and
Mm,
what was easy and
mm,
what I knew. But I had yet to, almost 50, I had yet to step into what I knew as a child was my purpose.
mm.
And I had a dream about the children's book, which I had never written a children's book. I've always been a writer, but that was not the area that I was in. But it was so clear that I was assigned to this and in this way. And it was the metaphor of life. Like, you need to go back to that childhood Marya who wanted to dance but has lived afraid. And you need to wake her up. You need to dig up and dust off those dreams, those that I gave you, right?
Mm,
That I planted in your spirit,
mm.
and allow them to blossom and bloom and dance, Marya. That was the shift in my life. So it is that's the story. That's what I'm living. I am living my best, beautiful life right now because I am dancing every single day. It's a choice that I've made. And now it's actually easy to just wake
Wow.
up and dance.
Wow. Okay, I need to backtrack for a minute because what a horrific and shocking loss with your brother. I am so very sorry to hear that. What was his name?
Uh, Ja- James, he changed his name in adulthood. So he is known internationally as Kious Kelly. So
Okay.
I call him James Kious Kelly because James
Okay.
is my brother. So James,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And it's incredible that, because of his legacy and the life that he lived, you were inspired and it transformed something in you. But I
Yes.
can only imagine that loss and what, especially in that season when we were isolated, right? Like we really like, and we didn't know and how serious this was.
Yeah. The grief journey I've never experienced. I knew nothing about it. I've learned a lot, and what I've learned is that it's everyone's and it's individual,
Yeah.
and to walk compassionately alongside people, but to not direct their journey, not to attempt to. So I've learned some beautiful things. I've written about forgetting. I've written about remembering because, there's this idea when you have a loss that, well, it gets better in time is what people say over time. Well, what does that mean? And I remember hitting a space. I think I shared this with you, where I didn't remember the actual date that he passed. And I panicked because I thought, oh no, I'm forgetting my brother. And I don't want to forget. If that's what that means, time makes it better. If it means I'm forgetting him, then I don't want that. I'd rather live raw every day. So, but I've learned that's not it. That there's a beautiful healing because I honor and celebrate, and I do a lot of what I do in his name and for his legacy. And he is very much alive and living in that way. And so, yes, it is horrific, and 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 these two things can coexist.
Yeah.
I'm smiling every time I mention his name.
Yeah.
I can't not. I mean, I hear
Yeah.
his voice, I see his smile, I think about the lessons, and there is uh, beauty that has birthed and continues to birth and rebirth, and I'm grateful.
Yeah. And what a beautiful way to honor your brother and his legacy by dancing yourself. So I want to know the Mariah pre-dancing
Yeah.
and the Mariah like I want to hear that part of the
Oh
story.
wow.
What was it like before you were dancing, and then what is it like now, and maybe even how you got there? Like how did you learn to dance? Was there a learning season, or did you
Yeah.
just dive in?
I was raised. We were raised in the Midwest. We born in Chicago, grew up in Michigan. We're biracial. That played quite a big role in our identity.
Yeah.
Um, my mother's side of the family, my mother is white and my father is black, uh, disowned her. And so we didn't have family. We didn't have extended family. Okay. So
Okay.
racial
Wow.
issues in the time period. So that really family met my mom and my dad and my brother. And that was it.
Was your little family?
Was my little family.
Yeah.
I had a great longing for that 47 years for family. And I think it also manifested as a desire for acceptance, right? Because I wasn't accepted by my extended family to degrees on both sides, one more severe than other. And I was also raised to follow the rules. You go to college, you do make all the right decisions, don't do anything wrong. So, there's this baggage I think that I carried of if I do everything right, if I make all the right decisions according to who, and at this stage in life, it wasn't the Lord, it was just the world, right?
Right.
Be successful, go to college, be a good girl, make the right decisions. And if you do make the wrong decisions, just hide them because I don't want to at all
Right.
suggest that made a bunch of right decisions. But you know, people don't need to know about your wrong decisions.
Yeah.
I went to school. I did well in school. I went to graduate school. I became a college professor. My mother was a college professor. I made all of the right choices.
And were you trying to make the right choices for that acceptance piece?
Yes, you know,
If I
then if
do
you
X,
ask
Y,
me that,
Z.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that then,
Sure.
but it was sort of like if you make enough right choices, maybe one day the extended family will see, oh, you're actually a good person, or will love you, or whatever. Like one led to another
Yeah.
was what I thought, and of course we know that's not true.
Yeah.
um, or it's not legitimate love because they're not loving your person. They're
Right.
loving your titles or your accolades or whatever. So I think the person before that that didn't dance at all.
Yeah.
Marya was stiff, but
Okay.
Marya was polished. I think on
Okay.
the outside, I looked like the woman. I always looked like the woman that had it all together. I had my
Yeah.
matching, bag,
Yep.
matching shoes, and I came perfect, right?
Okay.
As perfect
Yeah.
as one could be. I was always aware of how I was being seen. I knew what to
Okay.
say. I knew what people wanted, and I knew how to be that person. Okay, if you think about what I just said, how sad that is. Because
Ugh.
that wasn't me. That wasn't dancing.
Yeah. Sad and exhausting.
Exhausting.
Oh, I can imagine how exhausting.
Exhausting to the
Yeah.
point of, what one example is just my hair today, choosing to wear my hair natural.
Okay.
Marya, before that time, you straighten your hair because it's more
Okay.
professional, it's more accepted. I mean, every little detail was thought about through the lens of who how are they going to perceive me and how can I be accepted. And it was
Yeah.
not me. It wasn't me at all. The fact that I can walk around today in my natural curly hair, it is overcoming. It is saying, I am happy and joyful living as me, as I am. There's nothing wrong with straightening your hair, but the motivation behind it was wrong. The
Yeah.
motivation was, I'm trying to please. It's people pleasing, for acceptance,
Yep.
at its worst,
Yep.
but confusing because I looked like I had it all together.
Right. Right. And it's like this transformation of I accept myself as I am.
Yes. And how powerful that is dancing.
Because
Accepting yourself is dancing. That's it.
right. Because then you can know how to dance. Because before it's like, oh, what are the rules? Where do I step? How do I do this? What do I need to do? Versus, okay, I need to accept myself as I am. And now I can dance.
Oh, it's a very different feel. That freedom is
Yeah.
so beautiful. It's
Freedom
priceless.
to dance.
There's nothing like it.
So how do you get there, right? I talk to women all the time who are like, I keep going back to this people pleasing. I keep going back to this, like, what is my mom going to say? What is my husband going to say? What this person is disappointed. Like, how do you shift? How did you shift? How did you shift?
That is such a good question, and it's such a personal answer and an
Yeah.
individual journey, and that's the hard part of the how to. I mean, for me, it was dance or die. That
Okay.
that is how my spirit felt. Like, you have lived in bondage, you have
Yes.
been suffocated for so long. And maybe it is in part because at that time I was dealing with loss, felt like a life or death situation.
Okay.
I'm rounded up, leaning into 50 at this time period. And it was very clear. You have a choice to make. Marya, choose to dance or choose to it's not living. So what is it then? Choose to
Right.
continue to live this fake, artificial, seemingly okay, whatever, prosperous, whatever we want to call it, but you are dying inside,
Oh, yep.
right? So
Yep.
it was a choice. I, pressed against the wall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right there. And what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And the how, I think if I were to say how, the first is we have to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
I have to acknowledge it. We have to seek out those spaces where we're not dancing. We might be dancing 85%, but there's 15%. There is that thing that's planted in you that and you knew way back when you're
Yeah.
supposed to do this, but you're afraid and you don't feel ready and you don't feel equipped and you don't know how. It doesn't matter how big or how great.
Yeah.
We have to be willing to ask those hard questions. What is it that is buried deep,
Mm.
deep in there? And if you ask, it will be revealed. That that
Yes.
is that is my that is ask the questions. If we ask the right questions, we will get the answers. Then when we see it, it is
Yeah.
a choice
Yeah.
because it's revealed. Okay, well, you can either tuck it back in, you can rebury it, or you can dance with it. But it's your choice. We have to choose.
Mhm.
That ultimately is it. No one can do it for us.
Mhm.
We have to choose.
Yeah. And I heard you say, like, I felt like I had no other choice. It was dance or keep dying inside. Like there was for you no other choice. Okay, so I think this would be fun as we kind of start wrapping up this episode to hear like contrast. Like I got the hair example that makes a lot of sense to me, but I almost want to go, pre-dance versus current Marya. Like some shifts, some basic, like it could be practical, it could be emotional,
Gosh,
curious.
the hard part about this question is that for men, it's so much inner work
Yes.
that, the hair is such a great visual example, but I don't know that many people could see it because it is the way I wake up. It is the way that I see obstacles. It is the tenacity to finish. Here's one thing. I wrote my first book of poetry when I was in fourth grade. I went on and became a college professor of creative writing and literature. I had at the 47 age, probably 50 books half written sitting around the house. I had not published anything.
Wow.
Today, I personally, not my publishing company, I personally have just under 40 titles. My
Wow.
fourth children's book just came out. Okay, so what is that? Is it about no, it's because I gave myself permission to dance. I knew I had all of these stories. I wanted to tell them. I was afraid and I didn't know how. So when I decided, the house said, well, you know what? If you don't know how, people are publishing books every day. Someone does.
Yeah.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
Make one step toward that thing that you want. Ask the people around you. And you know what? When I asked, everyone poured in. I taught myself how to do all of these things. And now it's like I can't keep up with the books and the stories. They're just, they're just
Right.
pouring out. So it's like 40 years of suffocating it. And then you release it. And it's like, finally, I'm free. And it doesn't matter what people think. And I'm not trying to be accepted. I'm not trying to be a New York Times bestseller. That would be great. But my stories matter and they have an audience. And because I believe that, I just go. I just get up and do and produce. No fear. No just free. I mean, what I'm describing is the most beautiful freedom. I think that would be a tangible way to say, yeah, just free to do, free of worry, all of that.
And I hear it. I mean, I hear it in your energy. I hear it in your voice. I hear that joy, that freedom, that play, and I love, there's a couple of takeaways that I wrote down. Like you gave yourself permission to dance. You asked for help. You took one small step at a time. You learned and you kept growing and you kept learning and growing and you had like this growth mentality, And I think that's just so beautiful. And we'll dive into some more practical applications on the next episode, which
Yes.
I'm really excited to really dive into. Okay, ladies. But I think it's interesting that we started this off with the title of It's Time to Dance.
Yeah.
It's time to dance. And so I believe if you are out there and you are listening to this episode, if you're listening to this conversation, I believe that you are being invited and that it is your time to give yourself permission to dance. It is your time to figure out what is the next right thing. And I love the question you asked, Marya, of what is buried deep in there?
Yes.
Maybe start there,
Yeah.
sister. Maybe start there.
Mm-hmm.
It's time
Mm-hmm.
to dance. The world needs you dancing,
Yeah.
not dying inside.
Powerful. Yes.
Marya, is there anything you want to wrap this up with? Any other thoughts as we finish your story?
You did it so beautifully. I think just to echo what you said, that you listener, you have a story that no one else has. And it is for purpose and beauty and wonder. And you are meant to walk into that, whatever it is. And so it's really much the same. Claim it, see the beauty in it and tell it. Share your story, share it, share your dance, your dance, your story, your giftings. It is for a beautiful purpose.
Thank you so much. for sharing that with us. And sister, jump on for our next episode where we talk about practical applications to help you step into your dance, recognize your dance, discover your dance, start playing dancing in your dance. I don't even know what I'm saying, but you get it. Join us for the next episode. We love you so much. We're so glad you're here, and we'll catch you soon.
Thank you.